Jesus is back on the big screen. Son of God releases tomorrow in theaters nationwide, and it's the first major movie about the life of Jesus since Mel Gibson's Passion of the Christ in 2004.
Do you need help?
There's nothing to help with.
What are you doing?
Going fishing.
I'm telling you, there's no fish out there. How did this happen?
Come with me.
What are we gonna do?
Change the world.
If any of this looks familiar, that's because Son of God is the film adaptation of the History Channel's wildly popular miniseries, The Bible. Churches across the country are actually renting out entire movie theaters for early screenings. In California, one congregation bought every single seat at a 16-screen movie theater. Son of God is also generating a lot of heat because Jesus is so sexy. Take a look at the actor Diogo Morgado. He looks like Brad Pitt. He's already inspired loads of swooning women and also my op-ed on CNN.com. I write, quote, "I'm not the only one gawking at Morgado's Jesus. He inspired the hashtag #HotJesus. It went viral on Twitter. The actor told the New York Times he doesn't want his looks to distract from the movie, but if the message of Jesus was love, hope, and compassion, and I can bring that to more people by being a more appealing Jesus, I'm happy with that." So clearly we have a new trend. A more appealing Jesus is not just a better prophet, he's sexy. The question for me became, must Jesus be sexy too? Father James Martin is here to discuss this. He's the author of the new book, Jesus, a Pilgrimage, and is also editor-at-large at America Magazine. Welcome, Father.
Thank you very much.
Okay, first off, it would be extremely difficult to find the exact right actor to cast as Jesus. The filmmakers said as much. But through the years, Jesus has sort of morphed from good-looking to great-looking to now sexy. Why is that?
Well, I think it's a natural trend. We tend to like to look at pretty people on the screen. But, you know, in first century Palestine, his disciples didn't follow him because he had six-pack abs. They followed him because he healed the sick and stilled storms and raised people from the dead. So I think we have to look at priorities.
Was Jesus sexy?
You know, physically, we have no idea what he looked like. You know, ironically, though, back in first century Palestine, it was more likely that he was short and certainly darker. I don't think he looked like Brad Pitt, though.
Well, it's funny because if you look at the actors around Diogo, they actually would look more like Jesus than Diogo.
Yeah, I noticed that. It's funny. He seems to be the only one that looks, you know, like he has highlighted hair. Everyone else has darker skin and curly black hair, so it is kind of odd. He does seem a little out of place among his disciples and followers.
Okay, so let's try to go a little deeper. You told me that people have a hard time accepting a Jesus who is not physically perfect. They feel uncomfortable with Jesus being human. What do you mean by that?
Well, I think a lot of people have a hard time. Christian belief is that Jesus is fully human and fully divine. And by fully human, we mean in all things. He got sick, he maybe sprained an ankle, he got tired. And I think there's a difficulty among some people, among some Christians, to accept his full humanity, who is fully like us in all things except sin. And that's hard for some people. And so I think we tend to move towards a perfectionist Jesus, even in terms of his appearance.
And why is it important for Jesus to also be human? Is it because it makes him more accessible, perhaps?
Well, that's at the heart of the Christian message. You know, God became human in order to, you know, show us how much that he loves us, and also in order to help us relate to him. You know, Jesus was a relatable person. He was someone from a very small town in Nazareth who was a carpenter, and in fact, when he started preaching and doing these miracles, people said, "Who is this? Is this not the carpenter from Nazareth?" So, you know, God became human in order to show us God's love for us, and we need to remember that.
Father James Martin, thanks for the discussion. I appreciate it.
My pleasure.
You can read my entire op-ed on